Welcome to the 50th episode of Black Dance Stories. Here's a note about why Black Dance Stories got here. Our dance world was pummeled by COVID-19, and Black dance artists are finding ways to talk about life during that time. Our world was further turned upside down after horrible events ensued nationally and globally, bringing attention yet again to the need for the Black Lives Matter movement. Black dance artists have not been quiet since. Black dance artists have been doing the work. Black dance artists continue to make work. To stay involved since then, we have held these impromptu discussions and tell stories, Black dance stories. This is one action, and as we promise, we stay involved. We are a community working together to support, uphold, highlight, and celebrate Black creatives. I am Charmaine Warren, the founder and artistic director of Black Dance Stories. I ask that you please visit our website to meet the rest of the BDS team. Happy Black Dance Stories, BDS family. We have missed you. This special episode is in support of Jasmine Hearn and the Memory Fleet series and the upcoming shows at New York Live Arts. More about the rest of the team from Memory Fleet later. And I am now going to turn it over to Cynthia, one of our BDS team members.
Hi, everyone. My name is Cynthia Tate. I am the creative strategist and publicist for Black Dance Stories. I'm going to hand it over to Jackie.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jackie Batten. I am the marketing manager for Black Dance Stories, and I will pass it over to Kimani.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kimani Fallon, and I am the Director of Education, Archives, and Program Manager. I would like to also give a First Nations acknowledgement. So the importance of acknowledging our familial and dance legacies is an essential tradition. And in keeping with this tradition, I recognize my Indigenous sisters and brothers as a first step in moving toward action. With profound respect, I honor and acknowledge the Lenape whose stolen land we are zooming from. With that, I would like to turn it over to Jasmine.
Good morning, good day to all. My name is Jasmine Hearn. I am from my mother, and I am from her mother. I continue to do the work that they have done in listening, remembering, and furthering what it is that we hold, all the lineages that are held in our bodies. I am the director, a choreographer, because it's co-choreographed, as well as lead artist and researcher, lead creative administrator, as well as tour manager for Memory Fleet. I'm so grateful to be a part of this incredible vision that I've been working on for the past 10 years. I'll talk more about the project, but first I'd love to bring into the ether my mother by Renee J. Hearn.
Good morning from Houston, Texas. It's such an honor to be with you all. I'm Byron A. Hearn. Jasmine is my youngest daughter, my second daughter. And I'm happy to be present. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Pamela Pietro. Happy to be part of Memory Fleet and be part of Jasmine's team of learning, one who learns from them, and super excited for all that will transpire soon. Thank you. John, I'll pass it to you.
Good morning from Houston as well. I am John R. Stronks. I am so honored to be here and to be a part of Jasmine's journey. We've known each other for a pretty long time, and this whole project has been a reawakening for me, and the closing of a circle that was much bigger than I ever thought it would be.
Thank you, everyone. We're so glad to have you all gathering with us, with Jasmine. We're glad to be here with you, the collaborators of Memory Fleet. And so just a little bit about Memory Fleet before we dive in. Memory Fleet is a performance and archive project that has been traveling, listening, and building for over a decade. It braids dance, embodied sound, cooking, and storytelling. Rooted in Jasmine's personal history and shaped by Black and womb-centered histories of Houston, Pittsburgh, and New York City, the work unfolds through a series of embodied recipes, intimate yet expansive, that reveal how movement holds memory, story, and momentum for imagining. And so we are really honored to sit with you all, with the people who helped build this work. So let's get into it. Okay, so Jasmine, Memory Fleet, it began as a listening technology between you and your grandmother. And that relationship, it helped to seed something that has now grown to include over 100 people across multiple cities and countries. So I'm wondering for you, Jasmine, and everyone here, like, what does that mean to be a part of something that started so intimately and has expanded so far since?
Thank you, Cynthia. I'll begin with when I name a listening technology, it's a tethership. It's this way that I was side by side with my grandmother in the car. It was this way of receiving instructions from her, but also supporting in navigation, a way of immediately learning where it is we needed to go, how we were going to get there, and what it was that we were doing together as by her side. And so, this way of continuing to pay attention, to be mindful of what is said and what is not said, to be with the tone in the room as well as the gesture of the spine of someone who, I'm attending. It's this way that my grandmother and I built, and with my mom and my Aunt Sonia, because in 2015, we made this piece together called Memory Keeper. And I wasn't really able to get all of the stories, but my mom sure was. She was always there. And I was like, just real quick, mom, put it on the record on your phone, just like hook that button up. And, she did. And so, this way that not only I, but my mother, as well as my aunt, we came together to listen to my grandmother's story of growing up in rural Texas in the 1930s. And so from there, it became a dance that I performed around the country. It became something that is now a short film series. And it also helped seed the expansion of Memory Fleet, which inspired me to return back to my mom, my aunties, and to listen their stories, to the memories that they wanted to share. And then also be with teachers such as Pamela Pietro and John Strongs, Mama Charmaine Warren, as well as Mariah Weathers, Melanie George. Each person I've been able to be in some kind of relationship, learning relationship over time and space. And so I can speak more to it. But John and I and my mom just came from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, as we shared Memory Fleet's Stay in the Circle last weekend. And I would love to see how y'all have been able to witness as well as work within this project, starting all the way from Memory Keeper.
Oh, wow. I'll go first, Jasmine. As your mother, I've always been in connection with Jasmine during her work. I'm not, and I always say I'm not the artist. I'm the mother of an artist. But she's always shared and bounced thoughts and ideas off of me. So what I appreciated during COVID is she actually had a chance to come home and stay for a while, but she never stopped working, as you know. We all continued to create and work and rehearse and have discussions and audition and do all the things that you do virtually. Um, I was there for Memory Keeper, and for me, that's the beginning. I didn't know it was going to become all of this. And I'm very proud of her and excited for her and in awe of her, all of Jasmine and all the things that she's doing with this creation. But during COVID, I saw Jasmine working with the different artists and mentors and legacies that have been a part of her life. And to see the Pittsburgh production come to fruition was amazing to me. Now, she premiered a portion of this creation in Houston in 2024. That was super special because that involved our community, my friends, and people that are close to me that are not blood relatives, your sister friends. And to Jasmine, they are her aunties, and the way Jasmine honored them and entwined their stories. And with John's magic, it was just a beautiful, beautiful production. Pittsburgh was totally different, but it was the same. For me to be present doing the way that she honored those who she worked with during her time in Pittsburgh, when she graduated from Point Park in 2010 or 11. You know, she does things fast, so I get confused. But to meet them again this way, and the way they were so appreciative of being acknowledged, the way that they received her love, and the way they loved on Jasmine and Jasmine's mother and friends and people. It just was a beautiful experience, and I cannot wait for the New York edition. Totally different, but I'm sure it'll be full of much love, much creativity, beautiful, beautiful people. Mama Charmaine, who I've loved from a distance and had a chance to meet a few years ago. So I look forward to it. I really do. And I'm so grateful to have been a part of Jasmine's creative process. Didn't understand a lot of it, but as it's unfolding and this whole archival history that she's maintaining, I just think it's, you know, I'm honored and grateful and count the blessings in so many ways.
So I'm just going to acknowledge that I'm having a lot of feelings, or I should say, I have a lot of feelings every time I think about or try to articulate what this project is. I tend to hide behind the labor and sort of put myself sort of down there in the bottom where I can support so that I can pretend that it doesn't really have anything to do with me, but it does deeply. It forces me to remember things that I have forgotten. I do not think linearly, and so I don't. My memory is not linear either. I have memories that I think are really, really old that are not. Jasmine is one of those people who I don't, I know the story of our meeting, but I don't really, and I know that there was a time before Jasmine, but I don't really remember a time before Jasmine. Specifically with Pittsburgh, it challenged me to acknowledge my capacity as a lighting designer. I know that I had done that already for um, Memory Fleet in Houston, and I know that I had been doing that from the time that I started interacting with the Met 2 program, which is how Jasmine and I met, doing a lot of production management and all of that kind of stuff. But it put me in a place where I was able to pull up information that had been given to me by Andrew Milhan, who was the lighting and production manager at Cal State Long Beach when I was going to school there, who I had not forgotten how important he was to me and how powerful his information was for me, but it was something that had become obscured. And so I feel like that's also what I was witnessing as the performance was coming together, and it was an accumulation that wasn't linear at all. It was very circular. It was very open and it's always shocking to me, that I know as many people as I know, because I just don't oftentimes feel like I know anyone, but like to be there and um, to remember my interactions with Stacy Pearl and to know that I know Ursula Payne and that my best friend is also Ursula Payne's best friend and like all of these sort of like subterranean essential types of relationships on top of the dancing and on top of the very important work of transferring that dance and production and making and whatever other kinds of things that we have that bring us together and stitch us closer.
Yes. I mean, one thing I'm also that's immediately coming, John, as being a teacher of mine since I was 14, telling me how to make orange juice, sensing the polyrhythmics that were in my body and ushering them forward, even though, at times I couldn't get the steady beat that my family was like, why is Jasmine always clapping on so many other rhythms? Where is Jasmine's consistency? And for to be able to be with Wayne Smith and John Strunks, Stephen Boyd, and for them to be like, it's cool, just keep moving. Here's the step, and for me to practice that, and then continuing with being able to be introduced to teachers from afar. Wayne Smith and John were like, you should know Ursula Payne. And when I was at American Dance Festival, I was, oh, there's Ursula Payne. And then being able to be in Pamela Pietro's class and for her to yell at you across the room telling you that you were gorgeous is such a gift, especially at a time where I thought I should not be dancing because of the institution that I was committing myself to. And Pamela Pietro's telling me, why would you do that? That's stupid. Why would you quit dance? That's really dumb. And so just wanting to name too that this project is also about what does it mean to practice alongside of one another for a length of time. And Pamela and I have been practicing now for probably 7 years, um, getting into the studio and moving with one another, not knowing what kinds of moments of performance would unfold. But Pam, I'm curious how this feels because our practice wasn't immediately memory fleet and somehow it got braided into this project and I'm so grateful for your generosity of time and also wisdom.
Thank you for saying that. Um, it's incredible to hear and overwhelming. Because for me, I just feel like I'm a little seed inside of this big project, and I want to support and I know that it's a privilege to be in that space with you. I acknowledge that every time we step into those dance studios. And I loved it because we started with like, let's try this score, let's try this. Like we didn't know, right? And I love working in that way where I don't know what it is, but there are a million possibilities. And I always want to be inside of the million possibilities. And if there's a place that it goes to, that's where it's supposed to be. But if it doesn't, I've got to have that experience and that learning experience. And so it's my threading as an educator and been doing this for so long that I get to participate with Jasmine and John and all the other creatives that Jasmine has brought into that space. So I feel like a little piece of the thread inside of the big weave. And I just am, yeah, I'm super honored and I'm super, I think about being at the American Dance Festival in this big gym called Brody Gym. And Jasmine and Morgan and a couple people in the back. And it was just like, there are these, what is happening back there? Why are come toward, and then as I started to kind of unravel a little bit of what Jasmine was thinking about, I had to put an end to that. That institutional verbiage, institutional way of talking to young artists was not, wasn't going to tolerate it. So it's just having that narrative with Jasmine, yeah, it makes a bigger universe of what this thing of dance and movement and ideas and collaboration. So yeah, so thank you. And it's really a dream for me to be doing this. So thank you.
So I have a question for both Jasmine and Charmaine. Charmaine, how do you connect to Jasmine's work? And then after that, Jasmine, what have you gained, learned, taken away with this work that has been developing over time with these incredible mentors? Charmaine first.
We met, thank goodness, through Ava Ya Asantewa and skeleton architecture. Lift Ava's name up. And there were, was it 23 of us, Jasmine? I can't remember.
Yes, 23
23,
Black
right?
non-binary and femme identified artists.
And we killed it. And we started by standing on the altar at Dance Space in 2016 as a part of platform put together by Ishmael Houston Jones, and I'm forgetting the other person. But we stood on the stage and we've been connected since then. And as Jasmine says, and I am so honored, we're connected for life. I'm gonna pass it to you, Jasmine.
Um, okay, Mama Charmaine. I mean, I remember being in that at Dance Space Project at St. Mark's Church in the Bowery and also hiding. I was hiding in the stairwell. And you were like, why are you hiding? Come on out. You got to meet these. Here's here's Addison Weeks. Here's and I was like, okay, hey guys. And this
Marjani, we should name all of them, and we will.
yeah.
But
And then I knew Marjani because I was in her work previously. But it was the first time being alongside quite a few. Yeah, it was a way that I first had a chance to dance with Mariah Weathers, Sidra Bell, um, Tara Aisha Willis. I was already in her work, but to have
Marguerite
Margaret
Hemmings,
I mean, we can go on for
yeah,
days.
we could go for days.
Yeah.
We'll make sure we
Um,
drop them in the credits later.
yes, please, 2017, we did
2017.
it. All because of Abia Santawa's invitation and also the extension to be with Audre Lorde's Poetry is Not a Luxury
Right.
as a response. Um, and so I would say that, I love to learn. It is something that I am just so in love to do. Even if I wasn't called a natural talent of dance, I was committed. I always got those like E for effort awards because you couldn't stop me really. And even if there was a way that, there were all these other things I had to do, whether it was academics and now whether it's fundraising for the project, we'll make a way. That's something that I've learned from my grandmother. That is something that I continue to learn from so many incredible Black women who were my first teachers of improvisation, and to be responsive and also centered in such deep care and this way of making it happen in such a brilliant way. Sometimes out of survival, and other times I pray out of pleasure as well as centering rest. And so here I am. The thing about this project is I thought I was just gonna, not just, I thought I was going to be able to have a project in Houston. Yes, celebrate. Beautiful. Pittsburgh, New York. And then I was done. I was going to take a nap. I'll be finished. I'll be done. No worries. 3 shows. Here we go. And then it's been turning into something else where it's like arriving and listening and rooting and then being invited back. So this concept of continuous return, whether it's Houston's performance at Houston Met Dance was incredible, presented by Diverse Works and co-presented by the two, Houston Met Dance and Diverse Works as well. But then, just last year, I was invited back to Houston to share some of this material after interviewing archivists at the African American library at Gregory School at the Gregory Lincoln original campus to perform to Rice University and to then be in conversation with a whole concentric circle of folks to listen to their stories and interviews. Thank you, Pam, so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And Jackie's got something. Jackie's got some brewing. Go, Jackie.
Okay.
Yes, I just had a quick question. Hearing about the lives it's taken in these locations in Houston and New York and Pittsburgh. I'm curious as to what the rehearsal process has been like as it kind of changes form and people come and people go. And again, how place affects that process. Um, yeah, just talk a
Me
little bit
first.
about the rehearsal process for all of
Me
this.
first. Me first. First of all, Jasmine invites all of the people that have touched her. And I'm sorry Pam just left, but Pam and I have been threatening to work together long before Jasmine. And then Jasmine taps in and makes magic. We get in the studio, we get in the space, and Jasmine says, "Oh, this," and close the eyes and fingers, and then we make magic. And Mariah, and then we make magic, girl. But it's 99% fun, even though I say, "Oh, you're all grown up, Jasmine," and you come in there with notes and preparations, but it's fun. It's fun. Yeah, notes and stuff and all. Fun. John,
Um,
you say something,
yeah.
John, about rehearsal. Sorry, Jasmine.
Oh
Sorry.
no, that's exactly what I was about to do.
Well, Jasmine and I have made quite a few things together over the years, and our rehearsal process usually starts with food in a restaurant somewhere, margaritas, beans, tortilla chips, tacos. And then we come up with all of these ideas and then we go into the studio and sometimes we thwart them, sometimes we ignore them, sometimes we do them. Um, but
I forgot about that. Lots of snacks. Lots of snacks.
I got a chance to watch, obviously, because I was doing the lighting design in Pittsburgh. I got a chance to watch the rehearsing leading up to the performance, and it's just as Mama Charmaine says, um, it's incredibly meticulous, but it's also incredibly open at the same time. It's completely focused, but it's not a gripping kind of a thing. It's not a it's not it's not an etching. It's not the absence of violence, the absence of any sort of judgment is I don't know how they do that, but somehow it just allows for whatever is there to come forward and be remembered and then there's always the possibility that it will be forgotten, and that's okay, but we can do it again because we always, as Jasmine says, we do this together, and it's the togetherness, the like the authentic togetherness, I think, that makes it addictive, and makes it a thing that becomes sort of like an essential, like oxygen kind of. I need to get back to that. I need to get back to them. Um, yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Wait, I have one more. I have one more. When we just did Mariah, myself and Jasmine said you're going to take these paths, and then Mama Byron comes in and reads over that, and we were not together. Remember that, Mama, when you
Yeah.
were part of it, and it became a whole
I
thing.
do. Yeah. She asked me to do this thing. I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't know I was going to actually be in the show. I thought she was using a taping. It ended up being a beautiful thing. But Jasmine definitely has a way of infusing us with love. Always been a kind-hearted person. I've been tremendously blessed with both daughters, and each bring their own talent. And to hear people speak of Jasmine's magic, they don't know much. But I've had an opportunity to see it on occasion, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful for each and every one of you. So grateful for all of the people who poured into her, continue to pour into her. And my blessing is that whenever I come back, the people are still there. So that means those are real relationships and people of like this. And I'm grateful for that.
We have a little bit less than a minute left, so any kind of final nuggets that you can leave with us?
Yes. So, this upcoming production, Memory Fleet, Beloved, Let's Cross, at New York Live Arts, with an incredible constellation of collaborators, of folks who have lined the vessel from Crockett, Texas, all the way to New York City. We are so excited to share this work with you June 11th through the 13th. It's co presented by New York Live Arts and Chocolate Factory Theater. And it's something that has been building over time and space since I was very, very young, dedicated to listening to how my grandmother wanted me to plate her meal. Don't let any of the food touch because why would you do that, Jasmine? And it continues on to this moment. And this way of listening, remembering, and also imagining the futures that we will move into and the ones that we build for those who come after us. So thank you all. I hope to see you there. And if not, there are so many other ways to support the work. Please go to Instagram, memory_fleet on Instagram, as well as Jasmine Hearn Collaborates to learn how you can contribute towards the project. And we'll also share those links in the captions. Thank you all so much. And thank you, Black Dance Stories, because let's be real, without the work that y'all do, where would we be? Holding it down and holding the memories that we definitely need to be in deep conversation with in this present moment. So thank you, Mama Charmaine and the incredible Black Dance Stories team. Y'all are amazing.
Thank you, Jasmine. Deep gratitude, and can't wait for this work to be shown. I'm now going to turn it over to Jackie.
Hello, everyone. I am here to do the socials plug. Again, thank you again, Jasmine, and all of your collaborators for joining us today. It was such a pleasure to have you and to learn more about your work. Please find Black Dance Stories on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Substack. We are reachable. We're available at Black Dance Stories on all those platforms. And again, catch Jasmine at New York Live Arts, June 11th through 13th. Memory Fleet, Beloved, Let's Cross. We're so excited to see the fruits of your labor. And I am passing it to Mama Charmaine.
I can't believe we got this done. Everybody's busy, but we did it. And yes, Jasmine, Black Dance Stories is receiving the love. Okay, I think you all remember that you're supposed to have something to do a little cheers. John, you have something close by? Run and get it. All right, good, good, good. Wow. In the words of the late Congressman John Lewis, let's go out and cause some good trouble. Cheers, friends. Take a sip. Until next time.